Hello, I'm Doug and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at episode number 20 of Mild Melty Cheeses, where we're looking at two Goudas, or Gouda-style cheeses, made from goat's milk. So I have a Trader Joe's goat Gouda, or goat-style Gouda as they say, made in the Netherlands. It's Dutch. That's where Gouda came from. And I also have a little more elevated version, L'Amuse Brabander, Gouda. Sorry for butchering the Dutch language. And this came from a cheese shop. So this is $32 a pound. I got a very thin wedge. And this is like $11 a pound. And this is a good sized chunk. It's very white. It strikes me as really white. But before we start cutting into these things, let me get you to like this video. Leave comments and questions down below. Share it with friends. Subscribe to the channel and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. So there's a goat Gouda entry in Liz Thorpe's book, The Book of Cheese, in her Havarti Gateway chapter. She mentions lots of cheeses that are like Gouda, like Havarti, like Colby, Monterey Jack. And here she describes young goat Gouda as having a very caramely, sweet flavor. And then down here she has a separate entry for L'Amuse Brabander goat Gouda from the Netherlands. Juicy fruit gum and butter pecan ice cream are the aroma notes. Texture is cheese velvet, flavor creme brulee, in short tropical. So this comes from a specific farm or creamery or cheesemaker in the Netherlands, at a goat farm. So these are both pretty interesting. This one is like $11 a pound and you can get it everywhere. You have a Trader Joe's, and this one's a little more hard to get. So let's see if we can cut into these things. So I'm smelling a more aged cheese. Something like the nuttiness of a Swiss cheese. Wow, this is plasticized paper. I thought I was just going to tear it, but I'm not. Yeah, that maybe didn't get in. Ooh, a little oily. Goat milk has more fat than cow's milk. So we'll just lay it there. Nice aroma. Nutty. You can almost smell a tanginess and you saw cheesiness and aged cheese. So I think she describes this as being like 6 to 9 months old. This one's younger, maybe 4 to 5. Yeah. So there, that's a good arrangement. Wow. Nice aromas. So let's start on the Trader Joe's. And see what we find in here. So is that a rind or just texture? That's just texture. From the cloth that was on it. I don't think it was waxed. Just the fabric. So there's a few pieces of the goat Gouda, some next to the rind and some not. So I'll just take a piece. Soft, squishy, pliable. You squish a corner in and it stays where you smash it to. Very pliable. Super creamy. No real particulates in the mouth. No particles there. It's just a smear of fat. It's like butter, but thicker. Wow. Just a little touch of goat, too. But mostly it's dairy notes, and it's a rich, buttery. There's a sweetness to it. And a little bit of a goaty or sheepy tang. Wow. I like this. So I'm going to try a little piece that's next to the rind, see if that does anything. Texture seems a little tougher and harder at the outside near the rind. I think the flavors are all the same. That's very nice. Wow. Okay, going in for a cracker. Gonna put it on a multi-grain. Well, the cracker breaks up big smears of fat that are in your mouth. It is some thick cheese, so eat smaller pieces of this stuff. It takes a while for it to melt and dissolve, go away, flow. Very interesting. It's got some, it's hinting at some age with a nuttiness and an animal-y nature, that little tiny touch of goat. It's usually at the end. And I'm not sure, I pick up a saltiness in the cheese. It's got to be in there because it's perfect. There's salt, but it doesn't taste salted. On the flatbread, all the intense flavors pop a little more. Very good. Good texture, good flavors. And I would just say age and a Gouda-like tang. It's a little uneven. So on this weird fruit and nut cracker. Chewy cracker. Those little fruits are tough. But pretty much the same flavors. Dairy, cream, butter, and then a kind of a barnyard version of those flavors. There's hay, there's grassiness, there's earthiness, and then the little goatiness at the end. So that is pretty good stuff. So I'll just use up one more thing. Okay, this is weird. This is a Biscoff, which is more of a cookie than a cracker. And the main feature is burnt, dark, caramelized flavors, tending towards coffee and chocolate. And cheese seems to accentuate the shift towards coffee and chocolate. Oh man. That's so wacky and good. It's like a slightly cinnamony coffee drink. Maybe chocolate and cinnamon and coffee drink. Just weird. Creamy and dark caramely flavors. Okay. Totally successful. This goat cheese seems to go with everything. Now, clean up the knife and not mix the genres here. So this is a Dutch goat-style Gouda, which is excellent and a bargain, a value at $11 a pound. And now this oily, fatty Dutch Gouda-style cheese. So that should be enough pieces. I'll just do one more chop. There. So nice little block of what it's next to rind. Older, less moisture, more aged, more cave, more earthiness. A little bit more, a bigger touch of the nuttiness that you might get in a Swiss or Gruyere. Wow, that is good. Mouthfeel. Oily, smooth, fatty, butter, cream, all those things. And the age components are just beautiful. Oh man. That is so good. Flatbread. Oh wow. It takes the age very well. That is worth double the price, but I don't know if it's worth 3 times the price. But this is worth checking out once or twice in your life. Beautiful. Let me put it on a cracker here. This is wonderful by itself. It might be better suited for pairings or interesting combinations. Yeah, it stays elevated on a cracker. Very nice. Old. Now let's move on to a few pairings. There's that. I'm just going to take a piece of cheese with 1 dried cherry. And let's see how that goes. Excellent. The cheese flavors are so strong, it would take 2 cherries to really compete. But that's the right idea. It's a good, there's no texture contrast, but the flavor contrast is great. Salt versus no salt, and the concentrated fruitiness of the dried cherry. And then there's a tanginess or sourness to it, and a sweetness. So, very interesting. And now I'm going to try a medjool date. Pitted, sliced. Okay, there's a lot of fruit mass there. So this may do better than the cherry because there's so much date. Let's try this. Real nice sweetness in the date. Wow. It went well with the cheese, the creaminess, the dairiness. Wow. That really went. Woo. And then something I've thought about a couple times but never really tried is to use some chocolate. So these are Ghirardelli 60% cacao chips for baking. But I keep a bag around in the house for pairing with bourbons usually. But I got a couple chips here that I will try with this goat cheese. Very interesting effect. It's like a chocolate milk or a coffee drink. Wow. Okay, strangely that worked. Yeah, I gotta really bite into the chocolate. But once you get it mixed in with the cheese, it's got some interesting flavors and combinations. It makes an interesting flavor that wasn't there before. Wow. Okay. One more thing. With the Trader Joe's Go to Gouda, I'm going to do a couple of almonds. Not spectacular. I can tell they're almonds. There's a nuttiness that's lesser in this cheese. Let me try it with the other kind. Let me do this L'Amuse with the almonds and see how it works. Better. The earthiness, farmyardiness somehow goes better with the almonds than the Trader Joe's did. And I'm going to do this weird cracker with a chunk of the L'Amuse. Very good. That cheese is stunning. Cleanse. I'm going to try a little honey. This is Savannah Bee Company Lavender Honey. which I chose mainly because the level's high and I can get to it with a dinky little spoon. So I've chosen my cheese piece. I just need to get a few drips of honey on it. This honey's from lavender blossoms. It is not flavored, it's just made from flowers. Wow. Wow. Okay. That is interesting. That goes well. The farmyard notes really go with that honey. Wow. Okay. I'm going to try it. This is a piece of the tray. I don't know whose it is. I think it's this guy. I think it's Trader Joe's. Oh, it's oily on the outside. Okay. It's the L'Amuse. Stunning. Wow. The sweetness of the honey disappears, but the flavors get integrated. Wow. There's herbal notes in here. Doesn't strike me as terribly sweet, just eating the honey. But it's certainly not sweet on the cheese. That's crazy, crazy. Wow, okay. Not what I expected would happen, but very interesting. And one more small piece. So I'm going to try this with a bourbon. I want a couple pieces to do this with. Cleanse. So my bourbon here is Remus Repeal Reserve, batch 5, which is an older, sweet and woody type of bourbon from the MGP distillery, which now has a different name. Then I'll try to remember. Ross and Squibb. So I met Liz Thorpe, the author of this book, at a whiskey and cheese tasting. I'm sure one of them was a bourbon. Of the 5 pairings that we tasted there. So here, yeah, there's old woody things on the nose here. Wow, yes, sweet, woody, old age cheese. It just melts away from body heat in your mouth, and it leaves a coating from all the fat. It's just amazing cheese. Wow, yes. The aged notes, the earthiness and farminess of it seems to get along well with the whiskey. Wow, yes. Wow, I get a little crystal every once in a while. A little hard thing. And the cheese, like an old Parmesan or an old Gouda. Wow, I'm liking this. And it's so soft and just mushes away in your mouth. Okay, that goes. That is wonderful. Cheese is good, the bourbon is good, and it's a good combination. For the last taste test, I will make a mac and cheese out of the Trader Joe's goat style goat Gouda. So I will be back shortly with that. Okay, I'm back with the mac and cheese made with the Trader Joe's goat Gouda. So I did my usual recipe, and I'll put that down in the description below. And then I also threw in a few breadcrumbs and baked it to get it a nice crispy crust. So this was bubbling and hot when it came out of the oven just a few minutes ago. I let it rest just a little bit. So I could probably burn myself on this. But let's see what we have here. Oh yeah. It's definitely that aged, funkier, farmyard type cheese that it's made with. And when I get some sauce, wow, the sauce really disappeared. I tried to spoon in some extra, but it's getting absorbed and blowing up the noodles here. But back to the taste. It is a buttery, dairy, funky, with some of the aged notes I noticed in the cheese. I think I can tell it's goat. So most of the cheese characteristics survive. So this is wonderful, a good use for that good value cheese from Trader Joe's. For $11 a pound, it's got most of that flavor, 90% or so, or 95%, the flavor of the more rare specialized cheese from the cheese shop. So this is a great use for that kind of cheese. I'm trying to decide whether kids would go for it. It's hard to say. Lots of adults might not, so personal preference thing here. So this is wonderful. Thanks for stopping by and watching this video. And check the recipe down below if you're interested. And please don't forget to like, comment, question, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified. Because we're going to keep marching on through mild melty cheeses, and there's a few more interesting things to try. So come back for that. And cheers.